Hamilton Ticats win 16-6 over the Ottawa Redblacks, and they say there's no such thing as an ugly win, but
Well, it was pretty darn ugly, but 20,000 some odd people aren't going to think about that. This is just another W, and you got to win them all at certain types. And it really is starting to tell me something about this Tiger Cats, at least at home, Drew. And wouldn't you say they have home field advantage now? And it's expressing itself in a ton of ways.
5 straight now at Tim Hortons Field. They haven't lost here since they opened the building, and you were asking players after the game about whether or not there was some mojo about this place, and I think there is.
Yeah, I don't think they wanted to go too far because you can't put yourself on that kind of limb, especially when you've got really kind of 4 elimination games coming up here in terms of their possibilities. But there is really something happening here. This was, in terms of yardage, passing yardage, is by far the least they've had since the opening night. And we know what happened on opening night when they got spanked yet again in Saskatchewan. I think they had 50 yards only in passing in the second half, and this is a second half, or sorry, a passing team. But they're putting themselves in position to score, and that's what I think is a good thing about this team. And at some point, it's going to happen. I think there's still some suspicion about their ability to protect the quarterback down in the red zone, especially on second down when that fast blitz is coming. It happened an awful lot tonight. You're really seeing Collaros' age sometimes, especially again on second down. I think he moves too quickly. I think he makes decisions a bit too quickly, but he knows that, and he takes a lot of blame for that. Probably too much blame in my mind.
A couple of good things that happened for this team, I thought. The 2 running backs were able to seal the deal down the stretch. That last drive, which started with under 3 minutes to go, they were able to run the ball 6 times between DeLon Carter and Samuel Jury and put the game away. We've gone all this time so far and haven't talked about a defense that held the Redblacks to 6 points.
And that's it. I mean, as a group of journalists, we were talking after the game saying, do you give the Hamilton defense a whole bunch of credit, because really there were a lot of drop balls. Henry threw a lot of balls into the dirt, but most of the balls he threw low were under pressure. And the defense has plenty of credentials before this game I mean, you can only play against who you're playing against, right? So, and I think, I mean, they just did the job. That's a huge part of their home field advantage here, is the way the defense is playing and playing at key moments. They've been able to take, and there's a lot of energy, a lot more energy, I think, than you and I know down on the field, because we don't watch the game on the field, but the players all talk about the energy that's coming from the fans to the field. The defense has taken that and turned it into something. Now, it's much easier for defense to do it because, of course, you're also the noise and you're drowning out the offense and that kind of thing. But there's a sort of an uplifting thing that the offense quite hasn't got to yet in the red zone. And, of course, I think the crowd's a little apprehensive in the red zone because they're not stupid people. They know that this team has been struggling, and they went 108 minutes and 40 seconds without scoring a touchdown at home. And in game and those 7 quarters that we're talking about, they dominated. They dominated at that point. They should have been a lot more.
Let's talk about what comes next, because I think that Ticats made that transition almost right away. Bacardi Grant talked about it after the game. His post-game speech to his teammates was basically about the fact that they still control their own destiny and that they need to turn their attention to Toronto right now. Next week, next Saturday, 4 o'clock in Toronto, and it's another one of those games that's going to make play a big role in where this team finishes in the standings.
The offense plays like that in terms of not scoring, especially in the they didn't even move the ball as well in the second half as I think they did in the first. They're going to lose that game unless they pump that offense up more. That's a defense that's going to rise to the occasion more. You know it's going to be a huge crowd. I would be very surprised if there's anything less than 24,000, 25,000 at the Rogers Center on Saturday. It definitely has to be the focus, and they've got to start figuring out a way to cross that line. And I don't know what it is. And part of it is, I think part of it is the blocking maybe that's coming from the tailback position at that situation, because C.J. Gable isn't there, and Madhu's pretty good. Those 2 guys, you're right. I'm sure they can't be doing the blocking. We haven't seen the films, but they can't possibly be doing the blocking on the passing that the previous players did. But that was a great drive by them after some really poorly timed. You could really see they hadn't played much together, those guys, until in the as you say, the final 6 carries.
Make sure you check out Saturday Spectator for my game story and Steve's column, and the Scratching Post blog for all the up-to-date Ticat news. Reporting from the press box in Tim Hortons Field, I'm Drew Edwards.